Hey, I don't, haven't looked at the chat yet. Um, Welcome to Kentucky Route Zero Act 3. Um, this, hi, Julie. This will, so we're continuing here. So we went to see a doctor about the leg that we injured in, the caves. And the entertainment that happened after, involved a bar that the guy who ran it sold everyone's tabs to the distillery. So let's see what happens next. '83 and sunny now. Looks like it's going to get up to about 101 by late afternoon in Louisville and 103 in E-Town. Not a cloud in sight, so get out those parasols. Major accident just ahead of the Bardstown exit. So if you're headed to work on 31, you are late, my friend. Sugar? I forgot how you take your coffee. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. I heard you yelling. Bad dreams. We were up on a roof. Arana and Charlie. Ina lots up our house, drinking sweet tea. Charlie was reading. You're surrounded by other houses, closely packed. Huge sidewalks. Must have been, what's that word? Subdivision? That's it. I'm sure. Below us, a group of people were gathered, standing quietly. A man was reading from a book. Asked Ira about the weather. Would it rain on Tuesday or wind with the sunset? Something like that. He wouldn't answer me. Charlie stood up, and Ira told him to watch his step, and then I remembered. I woke up before I could stop him. I always told him to test each tile with a heel first. If it's a heel, you can kick it back and still put your toe on something solid when the tile slips. I remember your lessons. He just wanted to study his... what was it called? Astronomy. That's it. How could I forget? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't anyone's fault, Conway. That's what we mean when we say it's... an accident. Sure. Well... we have a mail order delivery today. Might be a long drive. Hope the truck can hold up. Long drive? What makes you think so? They said they couldn't come in person. Maybe it's just a shut-in. I don't recognize the address. The order is all... I'm sure we can fill it. Guess that'll be the last. I guess it will be. The last of Lizette's antiques. The... oh, what's the word? Finale. Maybe. No, that's not the word. I just need to think a bit. More coffee or something. Or I've had too much. It'll come to you. Maybe. I'm not sure anymore. It seems inevitable there will start to be words that I lose forever. What are those boxes you set in the hallway? Those are Charlie's old books. Oh. I thought we could look them together. That sounds nice. Cora should be here soon. Will you wait with me? Sure, Liz. I'll wait with you. There's your traffic and weather on the fives. That's every 10 minutes, brought to you by the Consolidated Power Company. Stick around for Old Kentucky Home with Kate, helping you turn your humble home into a mansion. After this. But that's only if you make a late payment on a follow-up visit. I think everything went well enough here that they'll only want to bill for. Oh, he's awake. How do you feel, old man? All fixed up? Sherman says you might be a bit misty coming out of it, so... I was dreaming. That's unlikely. Neurhypnol TM is quite powerful. In fact, many patients report a sensation of lost time. Do you feel like you've lost time? I guess so. It's been about 2 hours. What have you been doing? We watched TV for a while. Then Dr. Truman showed me some of the terms of this bill. It's kind of... You'll want to look over it yourself, I think. How about that leg? How's your leg feeling? Yeah, that's the important part. Conway shifts his leg a bit in the chair, testing it. Well? It was the heat. The shingles were cracked in the sun, and one of them slipped out under his feet. Shingles? What are you talking about? Who slipped? Your thoughts and feelings are probably still a little nebulous from the Neurhypnol TM. That's totally normal. It'll pass. I wouldn't recommend driving, at least for another hour or two, regardless. Conway stares remotely at his leg. Let's talk about a few things you should be aware of. Recovery, rehabilitation, and side effects. I should have plenty of resting time coming up soon. Good for you. Vacation or... more like unemployment. Well, at your age, I want to be clear. You should expect lingering effects of the injury for more or less the rest of your life. Don't immerse it fully in water. Avoid extremes of temperature. And stay away from dusty roads and mountain lines as much as possible. Mountain lines? Good advice in any context. Best thing you can do is keep it clean and free of debris. How often do I clean it? I'd say about once a month. If you find yourself unable to avoid overly dusty or moist environments, you'll want to clean it more often. And of course, have a doctor examine and recalibrate it every 12 months or so. So, do you have any questions? Anything about the bill that didn't make sense? I don't mean to rush you, but I have an early fishing trip. How about the payment plan in the bill? Yeah, that's one of the typical clauses. I don't really have any control over the bill, now that the Consolidated Power Company bought my employer. They handle everything. So it all runs through your electricity bill now. You can pay it back in full in your next billing cycle, or you can get on an energy credit payment plan. You'd have to call Consolidated for more detail about that. I don't really understand how it works. Something about generating electricity to send back to the grid. Oh, one more thing. Don't be alarmed if you experience any side effects of the Neurhypnol TM. Typically, we see daydreaming, deja vu, pensiveness, fugue states, irregular perception of time. About 15% of patients report a generalized sensation of lateness. Nothing to be alarmed about. Just keep it in mind. Thanks for your help. Julian's outside. We can head back to your truck. So I have a prosthetic, it looks like. And it looks similar to, I guess, the debt collector in the entertainment sequence. Back at the Museum of Dwellings. How are the drugs treating you? I feel a little distracted. You're probably pretty tired, too. I usually feel more tired after a late night nap. Hey, you ever take anything for that? Caffeine pills, or... It's all or nothing for me. Oh, right. Probably tell you to steer clear of all that stuff, huh? Yeah, I guess you never know. My folks had a peculiar relationship with medicine. We almost never had a regular doctor or health insurance or anything like that. Our immigration stuff was a mess for most of my childhood. So we only qualified for state programs in small patches before something or other would get contested. And we learned to just pile on dentist appointments and stuff in those short windows. If a cut got infected or her migraines were too much to handle, Mom would talk to so-and-so and who knew so-and-so, usually another minor, and end up with some pills. Instead of medical advice, every pill came with gossipy anecdotal warnings and superstitions, like all this lore that came with it. Like magic, dangerous, mysterious. Weaver's folks couldn't help? Yeah, they had pretty good health care through the university for a while there. A couple times they'd swing something, so I got a bit of whatever Weaver needed. In high school, Weaver got these pills to help her focus. She was so smart, but always going off in different directions, mind racing. Like 5 conversations going on in her head at once, and you're lucky if even one of them is with someone in the room, you know? And so she had these pills, and they seemed to help. I was struggling in school, too. Failing my history class. She offered to share the pills. Did it help? At first, yeah. It helped a lot. I had a kind of presence and clarity of purpose that I've never really had otherwise. I didn't want to stop taking them. One day I was sitting on my bed, my notebook was open next to me on top of a textbook, and I was holding a pen in my hand. I remembered this moment from several years before. It came up so suddenly, with such precision, I couldn't put it out of my mind. Felt I had to stay with it until I recalled the whole thing perfectly. It was just a tiny nothing moment. My mom patching up the side of a bird cage, winding some spare wire around the frame to reinforce it. I was fixated on that image and that sound. The cage kind of bending and twanging as she worked on it, wrapping and knotting, scraping copper against paint like bowing a rubber violin with a railroad tie. My parents came back from a triple shift and found me still sitting there on the edge of the bed, pen in my hand, delirious with thirst, patching that bird cage with 1,000-yard stare. You get some rest back there? That doctor seemed nice enough. Just got in over his head is all. Alright. Well, I guess we're going. So, what's the plan here? I could use a bite to eat. Oh, okay. Been on the road a while. Well, there's an all-night convenience store not too far from here. Is that okay? Sounds good to me. Okay, we can take 31 heading east. It's right before 65. They are ready to leave. It's very much like a play. Alright. 31 heading east. The truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. Great. A tree. Nothing to be done? Can you take a look at it? I guess I could poke around in there, but I don't know a damn thing about engines. Wait. Is this why you always leave your truck running? First time it's just died like this. Well, where's the champagne? Anyway, to know this area, anyone around here that could give us a hand? Looks like a road crew's been out here. Hey, we should call someone. Do you know a good towing company? Yep, Lucky Boot Collision and Towing. Here's their card. Lucky Boot. Alright, I'll give them a call. Hope I can get a signal out here. Hi, Ice Cube. Just started Act 3. Our truck has died. Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Hi, hello. We've got an old, I want to say diesel old truck just stalled out. Inaudible, confused. This is Lucky Boot Collision and Towing, right? A friend gave me your card. Open 23 hours a day. Yeah, that's why I'm calling. Exactly. That's all. No, it's okay. We just need to get to an auto shop and get this taken care of. Um, Thanks for the offer, but we really just need a tow is all. We, uh, we already ate. As soon as you can get out here, we're off 65 somewhere, just kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. That's actually a pretty accurate description of it, yeah. Hanging over the power lines just like that. Did you see it go down? Okay, my pleasure. How long do you think you'll be? Hello? I think they're on their way. Guess we have some time to kill. Pretty grim place to be stuck. I wonder what happened. To the tree, I mean. Maybe it was just old. You know what used to happen to old trees out in the forest? Wildfire would come through and clear them all out. It made room for the new trees. But then people built houses, and we can't have fires going all the time. So we keep putting them out. Now we have all these old trees choking out the saplings. Starving the young trees for resources, just clinging on to life until... snap. And then some road crew comes by and blasts the stump with dynamite. I think I'll take a look at that radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around. Are you bored? Are you? Yeah, most of the time. Let's play a game. What would you like to play? We can tell the future with this little tree branch. It's pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks on each section and count through the different things that could happen. Okay, what should we ask? It should be about you. I can't do both the counting out and the question. How will I travel in the future? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away, one at a time, counting out possibilities. Motorbike, motorboat, horseback, hearse, old truck, new truck. New truck. These other branches are too bare. Don't worry about it too much. It's just a bunch of sticks. How long do you think we'll be waiting here? I don't mind. I have a lot to think about. I guess I always do. I'm a thinker, all right. How's it looking? The leads are badly corroded, but I'm making progress. That's what I like about working on electronics. It's easier as you go on. Or you just get used to it. Almost there. It's nice to be moving at a fast pace now. Is this the right way? I don't recognize these trees. Oh, this is Junebug. Of course it is. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. She was the entertainment that never showed up at the bar in the previous live stream. It's just, the trees are so quiet, right? Usually you'd hear birds, wind, a squirrel, or something. Turn your ears down and focus on the radio, Cricket. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm a little bored. I'll work some chord progressions in my head for a while or something. How far out are we? Are we there yet? Oh, stop. Harry's not going to be happy. You know he doesn't like me anyway. I'll tell him about the frog. He won't understand. More than all silver and gold of this earth. You should have been a poet. I'll leave poetry to the professionals. What's on your mind, Cricket? Oh, I don't know. Just looking at the stars. Hope we get there soon. Never been this late. Which star's your favorite? That little one in the corner. I think they had a dog. What is it with you and animals lately? I don't know. They have a warmth. We still have all this useless bread from the bakery gig. It's stale, but a dog won't care. Fine. Just for a minute to share some bread. You're the best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, they can fill some seats at the gig. You know, if no one's there, Harry will try and bilk us on our fee. Was that him? Who? Lucky, Oh, the tow company? No. Yeah, they're too fast for a truck. I bet they're getting chased by something. Maybe they just have somewhere important to be. Definitely getting chased by something. Stay here. Careful, he's wicked with strangers. Ha, you. Who's chasing you? Hear that, Cricket? We're being pursued. I knew it. Who's after us? That's a good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation. So? Dinosaurs. Sure, something like that. Listen, we've got two questions for you folks. What kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? Not sure I follow. What kind of temperament do you think we have? What kind of work would you say we do? I guess some kind of art thing, maybe? It may be. She's the artist, I'm just an entertainer. Now, here's another question for you. Do you like music? Do you like music? Lizette used to sing in taverns on the weekend. Beautiful stuff. Of course you do. Say, they should come to our gig. What an idea. Well, we're waiting for a tow. A tow? I won't hear about it. This time of night, you'll be kicking your heels till dawn. We'll fix your truck up. Me and Johnny are a couple of regular gearheads. Why, I just put a new cylinder block in this baby over here. The Vicious Cycle. That's what we call our bike. We call it the Vicious Cycle. Pretty tough, huh? We'll get you fixed up quick so you can come to the gig. See, we have a regular booking tonight and, well, we're running late. Very late. That's what I told them. Now the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, is a notorious withholder. And if we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, well, he'll go all penny pitching on us. Just a short set. We only have one song prepared. You'll come to the gig, won't you? Of course they will. Can you believe we almost didn't stop? Hungry, old lady? Think I've got a crust in the sidecar here. But that dog of yours is such a pitiful sight. Well, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at an old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by old Charlie Moran Highway, just east off 65. We usually take a right off the interstate around the petting zoo. Johnny likes the petting zoo. I do like the petting zoo. Now, let's see about that truck of yours. I feel certain we can get it running. Come on. Come on, onto the interstate. There we go. Where is it? There's the petting zoo. Well, they took a different way. Act 3, Scene 3. The Lower Depths. Doesn't feel right. Like a deep pit. I wonder sometimes if I'm really up here or still down below. Kind of late. Are you sure they're open? Sure, they're open. This is one of those places. Let's head on in. We are not saints, but we've kept our appointment. How many people can boast as much? That's lovely, ma'am. Who said it? A poet. Ma'am, I hate to say it, but the cupboard is bare. Have some vision, Cricket. We've got 1, 2, 4 patrons. Harry doesn't count. Well, we've done more with less. Do you play here often? We have a regular thing here. Harry likes to just book it all up and forget about it. He's not really a music lover, I wouldn't say, but I guess his wife was. She had the stage put in, I know that. So he keeps it going, in her memory or out of habit. All I'm pouring tonight is Hard Times whiskey. Sure, I'll have a whiskey. Coffee, right, old man? And I'll have a Coke. No Coke, no coffee. Hard Times whiskey. Forget it. Say, shut the GD door, would you? I can't afford to run the AC all night. Sorry, Harry. Oh, it's you two. Where have you been? Never mind. Listen, I can't keep this place open through the small hours of the night just waiting for musicians. Where is everyone? Everybody had to, clear out. Let's get set up, huh? There's nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for... We brought some people, Harry. A crowd is forming. Yeah, but also Don't you want to hear some music, Harry? That does sound nice after the day I've had. But Ezra flips eagerly through the jukebox's catalog of songs. What do you think? I don't know how to play this game. Ain't that. How's it looking out there? How y'all feeling tonight? Can we get a bit more reverb in the monitors? Harry adjusts the soundboard behind the bar. How's that? Test, test, 1, 1, 1, 3, 50, lamentation, lamentation. Sounds good. How's everybody doing? Anybody had a real bad night? How about you, old man? Yeah, real bad. We'll try not to make it too much worse. This is a song I heard in a tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were out just riding around, you know. Like, you like to drive around, old man? Of course you do. So we were out riding around and we passed this gaudy old tavern. I mean, it was a real dive. Busted up facade. Weeds in the parking lot. Taps all dry. Bats in the bar room. And run by this creaky bag of bones. Looked like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey now. So we stopped for an early drink, and there was a lady singing right here on stage. And the song she sang, well, it stuck with us, and now it's a regular part of our repertoire. Never got that lady's name, but she seemed like a sweet gal, and she had a voice like Scotch whiskey. And we just hope we do her song justice. So here it is. Too Late to Love You. We've met before. Wow, that was amazing. Well, I hope you liked it. Kind of sad, isn't it? Kind of. Can I sing like that? My voice isn't that deep. Sorry, excuse me. That was pretty. And I kind of like how you chose the lyrics. But it was really good. I like that. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs to an empty room. We've just got to get our fee from Harry, and then we'll get you headed to the Zero. Which I never told him I was going to, but fair enough. Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Rapt. I guess the usual fee's about right, and we'll let you get back to your business. Well, that's just the... Damn it, I was trying to tell you two I can't pay. They cleaned me out. I've got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery. In IOU. Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey, and I guess I had some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more from them later on. Must have been a hell of a trade. I had to. Gotta keep this place open somehow, goddammit. Watch your language, Harry. Say, we just need to get pointed toward the Zero. Oh, God. What's that? You know what they're talking about? Tell you what, you point my friends and I to the Zero, and we'll call it even. Are you folks sure you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but I hear... People hear things. Rumors. Do you know another way to Dogwood Drive? Dogwood? Got a letter, did you? I've got a stack of them. Well, okay. Sounds like the Zero's your only course now. Harry, you're all right. If only. You got a radio in your car? Yep. Well, here's what you've got to do. Take a left out of the parking lot, and then just fiddle around on your dial until you hear something familiar, but... familiar but strange. You know the feeling? Like, I used to go hunt with my uncle out in the mountains, and now I watch these nature programs. They're filmed in the mountains, and there's the deer, and I know all the plants and every kind of tree, but something just doesn't look right. And it's even stranger for being so close to familiar. Something like that. You'll know it when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial. Drive for a bit, and then turn around when the station cuts out. Right then. Hope you folks find what you're looking for. Eventually. Always a pleasure, Harry. Is it? Alright, so... What was the directions? Oh, it was the radio. This station doesn't quite match that bartender's description. Definitely weird, though. Let's keep scanning. He said we know it when we heard it. What's this station? I've never heard this before. Sounds like horses. Horses running? A race? Lisette and Ira had some horses years back. Yeah, I've always been a little afraid of them. They're so big and... I don't know. You look in their eyes and they're almost human. Like they're human and animal at the same time. Since they've been domesticated so long, I guess. Well, that fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we just drive until it cuts off. What the? There's all these horses in the road. We're into zero now. They don't keep the roads up too well, do they? Not down here. Who do you think is responsible? The bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. Time to cut him loose, ma'am? Well, now I'm having fun. Okay, slow night anyway. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. Computers. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. A pet carrier for a cat or small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Alright. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew, when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really, you're in love with the young woman as well. And so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections. But it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. What are you talking about? No, you're right. It's insipid, derivative. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. Why did you stop writing? You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction, and then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with the doomed love story at the core of our little simulation that seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. A woman in a tattered cardigan looks furtively at the other people around the fire. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? Sorry, did we startle you? I might say you did. Thought you might be one of them. Oh, no, you can't be. We've been patching all their spy holes. Keep the lights dim and the motors running softly, and we route the smoke out through. That is... What were we talking about? We're a bit lost, actually. You came from the road. The Zero. No, you should stay off that road. Not safe. Bizarre topology. You'll never get anywhere. Just brings you right back here. Back to this cave? Always back to this spot. It's a prison. An irrational prison. But I don't mind. Not anymore. This is where my life's work is. The computer, right on the other side of the spire. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively, and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? Sounds like it would short-circuit. Certainly. But not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others. And it grows in non-linear chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through a simple application of classical horticulture. But we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on the derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels. Boundless and bare, the cave stretched far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? You're about to tell us about the software? Oh, the software. My life's work. Xanadu. You've heard of it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal? It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Poststructural Witness. Evolved, and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something, and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? Yep. Except for Junebug. They all pretty much do. I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts. I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. You can take a look at Xanadu. We'll talk to Andrew in a moment. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. A closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine, humming faintly. An electric typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Well, we might not get to hear what Roberta and Andrew have to say. Sorry. Garden of... You are staring at the... Around you is a... Huh, this thing is in rough shape. Do these switches do anything? Conway flips an unlabeled switch. You are standing at the end of road before a small truck around you. Okay, that's worse. It kinda looks like a house. Type house. Type it. House. Ingredient? You are in Lula. Joseph and Lula remove the computer. That's the... Did you say Lula? Lula. Donald was the other person with him. Got the machine. The skilled music. Joseph has his punch cards. He's transcribed for it's too... the paper. You need... Here. How's your back holding? And I can't tell what she's saying. I have my portable degausser with me. Old system like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of works everything along whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up and suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it to its unified again. That's how I can think of it anyway. Like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. After what may have been years, we stumbled into a tunnel. A cave opens up. Well, okay. Stalactites around the ceiling, adorn the ceiling like grapes. In the center of this set up your premature and defiled custom cubic foot. This is Lost Cause. What a piece of junk. Wow. That was something. Bizarre. And what was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. And go back to Donald. So, you've seen it for yourself, what's left of it. Is that the end? The chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But you can see what it once was, can't you? There's so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first, we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly into tunnels. Then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're... strange. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me. But it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? How do you know her? It was a long time ago. All this, you see. Just look at it. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula is gone from here, but still in there, in Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. Until... But maybe... Those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them, to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees, from rock to crystal, and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now, leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Yeah, we're not going to talk to Andrew and Roberta, I'm sorry. Where the strangers come from. It's a graveyard. There I am. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Worth a look inside? I guess. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him. We can look for lizards. Okay, we'll make it quick. Find any lizards? I wasn't really looking. Nice cover story, kid. Is that guy your boyfriend? Nah. What's a boyfriend anyway? It's a word people use because everyone else does. Doesn't mean anything to me. He's my cricket. See? It means something. It's specific. Sounds lonely. Not for us. You've just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half-foot shorter and all gray. No eyes. They're going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. Bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over, and we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road, just these two featureless shadows, and ever since that night we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. I feel more like myself every day. I feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there. Now you're getting specific? Blah, blah. I cannot talk. Oh, they're coming back. There you are. What you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Did you both just bang it out? Alright, okay. We got what we need. Let's go. Alright, we're back. Okay. Trace an orbit round the road, and close your eyes with holy dread, for we on mold and whiskey fed, and drink from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh! Soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. Oh. Bit of a poem to rally the illustrious spirit. Of course. Well then, type away. By all means, do not hesitate. Type away. Alright, we will do that in a moment. Let's talk to Andrew, because I haven't. Oh, are we Shannon now? Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... Now I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, I've got it. How would you characterize this space? The one we're standing in now. seems endless. You've no idea how right you are. Decades of mapping and notating. How can you tell? What formal quality makes it seem endless? You know? That huge fire, the smoke just disappears. Mysterium tremendum. Sends the shadows scattering, momentarily lights the mouths of unseen tunnels. That fire is constantly reshaping life. Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Okay. Good. Now, you're standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Ah, here again. How disappointing. What are all these computers for? Computers? Oh, now I remember. I was writing on them. I described a cave. That was my job. Describe the cave. There's a great history of caves in the literature, don't you know? The walls are frozen rivers of orange stone. Isn't that vivid? I had a lot to live up to. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. And I've put in the hours. Believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. A massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. The kingdom is in peril. Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Do you work here? Work. You could call it that. I gather old circuit boards and throw them in the fire. Sometimes I fish out precious metals and let them cool into toxic gems. I put them in my hair. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. Means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. And then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, now I carry the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. So I notice when Junebug walks, she makes that robotic sound. I don't know if she's human necessarily. Okay, we're supposed to type dome in air. Weird. Just follow instructions. Here we go. Yeah, it is a little spooky. salmon tail. At end of road. You are standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. Enter building? Like a text game? Inside building. You're inside a building. A storage shed for the National Park Service. There's a sensible, modern electric lantern nearby. Ezra, you're wrong. Get the lantern. Get lantern. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. North. Yes, text adventure games are kind of weird. In forest. You're in open forest, with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Head back south to that building. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. Okay, so we originally went north and then we went south and we're still in the forest. So let's go east. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small, handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I could pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. Let's go west. You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kitten, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his backpack. Oh, that's the cat that Lula mentioned in the last act. But sadly, that cat's passed away by now. Maybe he has something to say. Listen. Donald! It's just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone, dearly gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. I've been noting down the sounds of the forest, with an ear for speech, and an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. So maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetic subsystem makes of these punched cards. North? At edge of hole. You're at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your backpack, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. Shine the lamp into the hole. Light lamp. Your lamp is now on. Shine lamp in hole. The lamplight only reaches a few yards down the hole, where the rock is coated in a slimy black mold. You can tell that the walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. Try using the rope to climb down safely. Tie rope to tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times in the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. And bed quilt. That was from earlier, okay. These are the caves. I saw a bit of these when it was like messing up earlier. You're in bed quilt. Yeah, okay. A long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last trip, so everything's down here now. Say something back to her. Say something back. You make an awkward joke. Don't be so morbid. Lula looks pensive. Ask her about the cave. Ask Lula about cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier, as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment. Or, not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices, singing. Some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. What's the gear they're carrying? Ask Lula about gear. Sure, Donald. We may as well take inventory. I've got the tape machine and the synthesizer parts we borrowed from the School of Music. It's all tuned up to my voice so we won't have to type so much. Yeah, the tapes, we listened to those in the gallery at the end of Act 1. Joseph has a slate and the punched cards he's transcribing from the poems we read him. He's got the typewriter and paper tape reader. And you've got the CRT display. How's your back holding up? Joseph looks uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey, Donald, can you help me, wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I could use some help with the serial interface, if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Maybe if we help Lula, she'll have some more to tell us? Help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which color lead goes to which pin. Lula begins unpacking a box of wires and terminals. Do you think there are paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean? Maybe some old pottery shards from when the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves to... Do you know, I think cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Sadder than animal remains, I mean. We might come across a petrified mollusk or a particular partial dinosaur footprint, and we say, there is a point of contact here where a body touched the earth, and maybe there's a little bit of evidential garbage. But the life who owned that body never cared, and has moved on anyway. And that's the end of it. And suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls, and I see a crude painting, thousands of years old. 2 men and a woman, charcoal and blood on rock. Someone put that there to keep something on the rock after she passed. A hope, a relationship, or a moment. A worry, maybe? A regret? She made a painting to keep something alive for her. But like that dead mollusk and that ignorant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone, and now we're looking at this painting. This dangling copy with no original. You are interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. What the hell was that? Let's check it out. In tunnel. He rushed down the tunnel, with Joseph and Lula close behind. That got kind of intense back there. No wonder they're still thinking about it. The tunnel narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward, as smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. In Crystal Room. There's a tunnel, I think in Mexico somewhere that's like this. It opens to this gorgeous crystal-like ballroom. It's beautiful. You are in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Finally! Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment. Then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Follow Lula. Run north. No, that's not right. Lula's should be northeast. Gone. Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run. Soft shadows loom perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually find yourselves cornered. You have hit a dead end. Who are they? Comfort her. Comfort Lula. You reassure Lula that the strangers are harmless. Are you sure? Maybe you're right. Sounds like they've gone back to work. Alright, let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact. Then we'll find our way back to the equipment. You're in Bedquilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula is here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? Search for him. Search. I only understood you as far as wanting to search. We have to be more specific. Down one of the tunnels? Search tunnel. You select a tunnel at random. Your lantern illuminates several sets of footprints on the moldy cave floor. They are impossible to identify. With the equipment? Search equipment. The various computer and audio equipment casts angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. Joseph climbs down from the rope still tied above. That damn sound! Those damn voices! I don't even know what direction I was running. I wove through that network of tunnels. I ran my hand along the wall, always turning left, but every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles. Finally, I ended up here. And I hid. I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. But listen, there's one thing I have to tell you. While I was out there, lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero, and I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and to church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye. A television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, a bottle, an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. What's up with Lula? Ask Lula what is up. Nothing. Just... Joseph, you sound disturbed. Lula, you've heard the same damn stories I have. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. The hell with all of it. Whoa, we should stop him. Get him back on track. We're so close. Divert Joseph's attention. You shout something at Joseph about the project you are working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. What about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell him we can hide from the strangers. Suggest finding a hiding place. You shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you. But not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damned cave. Joseph is right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too. But I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down to Zero. I think we need her to stay. Ask Lula to stay. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damned machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick. Sounds like Beardo had his heart broken. You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Vain. Vanity. Ain't it the truth? My Aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing, she was a painter. Mostly nudes and oil. She had this model, I'll never forget him. Big, classically physical guy, looked like he was about to storm Troy. He made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. You couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house, chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profile or worked on the right mix of pigments for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down just to the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening, I was standing next to an open window in the back of the house. The sun was setting. Early spring, I think. It was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept arranging it, like half in front and half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird indignant shuffle thing. Or the wind from the open window would push it around. Or he'd start and turn his neck when Weaver or I ran by, and everything would be tangled again. The final product was a swirl of black lines, billowing around the top of his neck. Weird thing is, I don't even remember his face now. Just that black swirl. Probably the best one she ever painted. Hall of the Mountain King. Basically where we ended up. After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. Now is the time to continue your work. Research assistants, 0. Realism index, 37%. Romance index, 2%. Mold coverage, 0%. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Hire a new research assistant. Hire. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Weaver, who studies mathematics. Assign. You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. Debugging. Assigning available research assistant to debugging. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. No new applicants. Try again later. Let me try again. Alright. So Weaver was here. Assign. You currently have no available research assistants to assign. Alright, so sleep. Sleep. Time passes. Weaver widens tunnels slightly, so to reduce the need for extra crouch commands. Now is the time to continue your work. Research assistants, 1. Realism index, 47%. Romance index, 0%. Mold coverage, 11%. You may hire a new research assistant. Alright, let's see if we can hire anyone. You have hired Marianne, who studies fine art. That's the clerk at the Bureau of something. I can't remember the name. You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. Transcription. You have 2 research assistants available today. Assign how many to transcription? 1. And get her on speculation. See if we can hire anyone else. If not, we'll just go to sleep. Alright. Marianne extensively notates tunnel diameter as a function of length. Weaver makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work. Research assistants 2, realism index 57%, romance index 10%, mold coverage 22%. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Andrew, who studies statistics. Andrew makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings and clustering together like horrible leathery tumbleweeds. Weaver carefully transcribes the sounds of dripping water in all their variations over a period of several hours. Marianne posits that nature, not reason, is the master of industry. Intruders! The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. Research assistants 3, 72%, 30%, 0%. No mold anymore. Hire. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Greg, who studies architecture. Oh. Greg identifies a bug with the oxygen level simulation, but is unable to fix it. Weaver types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Andrew muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. Marianne discards centuries of exhaustive data on the uniformity of cause and effect. Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. She doesn't return, but neither do they. You've hired Rick, who studies library sciences. Let's just get all 4 of them on that. Marianne fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Greg fixed bugs. Andrew fixed bugs. Rick fixed bugs. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Maybe we should try to start over or something. This doesn't seem to be helping. Like, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do. I want to keep playing. Come on, kid, we've got stuff to do. Quit. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. That was a rhetorical question. Quit game? I only understood you as far as wanting to quit. Maybe we have to lose our dies somehow in order to start over. Smash computer. Violence isn't the answer to this one. Guess we can keep playing. It wasn't what I was expecting. But, I mean, it doesn't seem like we can start over, so... We've hired Roberta, who studies fairy tales. Marianne summarizes the migratory patterns of bats through the tunnels. Andrew transcribed experiences. Greg transcribed experiences. Rick had ideas. Roberta had ideas. A mail carrier on bicycle brings you a sizable bill from the power company. I didn't mean to do that. Time passes. Intruders, the strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. They seem to clean up the mold. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. Maybe we have to wait it out. Wait indefinitely. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. You don't encounter the strangers again. but sometimes you can hear the uncanny echoes of their voices off in the tunnels. Years pass, mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take to burning disused equipment in the center of the room. The black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night, you have visitors. Outsiders. Different ones. Then, later that night, an old friend. You really did go deep into the caves. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. Huh. So it seems like it's caught up to the present. Sorry that was so long. I wasn't expecting that. Scene 10. Wow. You really did go deeper into the caves. Well, you're easy enough to find. I've met a few of your former assistants. I can't help but hear things. So, this is what became of our project. Oh. Made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes for the first half, so I've had some blank spots to fill. Yes, I know. He published his version, actually. Sorry to report that it's a bit tediously sentimental. We've been looking for you. So you found the address data. Just pass it over to Donald here. Donald, will you be a dear and crunch these numbers? We're looking to sort out a street name collision. Dogwood Drive. Wasn't the Bureau going to process it? I insist. I have cycles to spare. I'll just pack my pipe and get to it. It should only be an hour or so. Andrew will carry it over too. I'll be at the Bureau for the rest of the night. Just mark it private materials for the attention of Senior Clerk Chamberlain. How do we get to the Bureau from here? The bridge? Yes, the bridge. Through the gate over there. Now we, too, recede into history. Good night, Donald. Meet me at the Bureau, and we'll get you on your way. Head counterclockwise to the cathode ray, then turn around. Then shift clockwise until you find the Bureau. Between us, I think you should drive. It's open now. The gate is open. Thanks for waiting, Blue. You've gone a bit longer than expected. You're into some trouble, Blue, I won't lie to you. What happened up there? Just a bunch of computers. They move on. All right. So... So go counterclockwise to the cathode ray. Reclaimed spaces, that's what it's called. Yeah, it is Jinbug that makes that sound. Here you are. Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. Any word on the address? Results just came in by courier. Good news, Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. I had Rick cross-reference the results against some of our records. He found a corresponding mail stop on the Echo River route. As it happens, the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. The ferryman carries the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. You're welcome to wait here. I have to get back to packing. Are you going somewhere? I'm feeling impulsive and I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico. It's been years. Still have one of my sculptures in the museum down there, did you know? Big, ugly iron thing. Time to have it scrapped anyway. Safe travels. Try to stay out of the water. It's colder than it looks, and deep. So I guess Jinbug was a droid in the mines. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows? Alright, what happened? Up to you. It's okay, you can tell them. It doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So, we were in that graveyard. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Guess. The church floor is cold metal, scuffed and flexed by unknown boot heels. A handmade apparatus for the production of moonshine, assembled from scavenged metal and natural materials. expected. The strangers, he kept saying. Kind of vague already, isn't it? Donald's a stranger. Hell, you and I are practically strangers. Listen, early in the mine, I didn't want to talk about it, but... What did you find down there? When I saw Weaver, she was on TV. I was testing a pretty simple tube repair, flipping through channels to check the saturation, and she was just there. It was kind of horrible. I mean, I told you she disappeared. Suddenly. Ran away. But we thought she was dead. Yeah. I guess I don't like to say it. Dead. And then, the next time, I flipped to Channel 2. Weaver. It's burned in my vision now. She's standing in a room. The walls are a blank kind of gray. There's tape on the walls like markings and desks. Classroom, maybe? The camera's in the corner, so it's this sort of 45-degree angle into the room. And there's Weaver right in the center of the picture. I stopped turning the dial. Hell, I think I stopped breathing. Eventually she spoke. There was no real sound. Just this awful hum. I read the closed captions. She said to go to the mine. I'd find something there. Can't remember her exact words. Whenever I try, I get distracted, fuzzy. It's so dusty in here, right? Yeah, real dusty. You'd think with all these holes in the ceiling. What the hell was that? Do you hear that? Must have been the church settling. Must have. Oh. We going down. This is a bizarre game. It's great though. Oh. He's like my leg. The stranger activates the tape player slung on his shoulder. A crackly drawl echoes in the room. It is patient and sounds like it should be smiling. My regrets. I hope I didn't keep you waiting long. You don't see a lot of foot traffic these days. I guess you're here about the job. I'm afraid we only have one opening at the moment. Horrible business. We're actually looking for some information about an old computer. Certainly, I'll tell you everything you need to know. I've only just met you, but I feel certain there's a place for you here. I'll just take you over to meet the dispatcher, show you the trucks, get you familiarized. We can converse as we go. What is this place? Some kind of factory? Yeah, maybe. But for what? Why hidden away like this? And what's that smell? Like bread. Bacon bread? Please, follow me. I have to ask you to step in here a moment. This is for your safety, and adjust your outfits just a bit. There's some protective headwear up on the wall back there. Please remove your shoes and eyeglasses. We don't wear glasses, so that won't be an issue. I'll do us a favor and put on the headwear anyway, just this way. More new arrivals this evening. Plenty to do. Got to relay the formula. What formula? Eh? Oh, the formula. Changed our lives. Once, years ago, we were as prisoners to the intricacies of our debts here. We'd have to account for everything on paper. Compounding interest by hand, reassessing amortization and leveraged asset distributions according to nightly merit decay. Then she stepped out of the dark caves to show us the light of the formula. She had a brilliant grasp of mathematics and a saint-like way of speaking right through the numbers. Weaver. Now we just plug our daily numbers into the formula and run it all through the adding machine. We occasionally suffer some surplus drift, but she instructed us on all the necessary adjustments. It was devastating to see our revered mathematician go, but she was needed elsewhere. Her legacy abides. What job are they working? I don't know that it's been settled just yet. You see, sometimes we take on newcomers already in debt to the distillery. One of the foremen will find something for them to do, chip away at their sum until it's all settled. That's what I'm doing here, chipping away. That's what we're all doing. So this relates to the entertainment. Wow, check this stuff out. Must be decades old. But it's in perfect condition. You really like old electronics. Yeah, I've got it bad. That's why I got into this business. To keep old stuff like this running. Seems like such a shame to let it just fall into ruin, you know? Like that computer back in the cave, Xanadu. Decades of engineering, thousands of years of mathematics and philosophy, all petrified into living stone. How could you just let that fall apart? Oh, there's people working in the seats. Those three up there, I think, are some of the people at the bar in the entertainment segment. Here's the fleet. Oh, we just use these to get around internally. What do you do here? Oh, I'm a copywriter. Text on bottles and flyers, ad copy, that sort of thing. Discerning shades and heartsick lovers have long known the taste of hard times, and held it in favor over all other spirits. That was one of mine. So, the trucks are just Eastaways in shipping. You can become acquainted with the dispatcher there. Give me a tap on the shoulder if you see something that catches your eye. Always happy to show off the facilities. Sublime machinery. Just not really quite sure what that does. Here we go. All right. We're in logistics. Guess we'll go to shipping. Here it is. Now, I have to ask, as a matter of course, what kind of experience do you have driving trucks? I drove deliveries for an antique shop up until this last run. Ah, precious cargo. You'll do just fine. And you can drive safely, can't you? I haven't any doubt now. It's only after what happened with Miguel this evening. What happened with Miguel this evening? Well, the dust is still clearing, of course. Perhaps he closed his eyes a moment, or simply hit a curve too devilish. I do pity ill-fated Miguel. He was good company, and slow to anger. But if we're speaking confidentially, well, with all that last product to be repaid, bourbon and glass dashed across the interstate, and a few casks too, well, just thankful he had no next of kin. as that accident at the beginning. So, let's see if we can ring up the dispatcher. Doolittle starts the truck and switches to on the CB radio. A deep, monotonous voice drones from the dashboard speaker. 1020 on that load, come back. Up in the Hummingbird Cave, 1012, City Kitty. This a good time, dispatch. We may have found Miguel's replacement. Thought you might like to get acquainted. 10-9, come again? Introduce yourself. Hello? Tell dispatch something impressive about yourself. They're very well regarded here. You folks know anything about a moldy old computer? 99, wheel holder, gotta pay the water bill. So I'm certain they'll call back before long. Let's take a look around the truck, huh? Headlights work fine, see? Doolittle fiddles with the controls. That's important. Most of our product goes out at night. You never know who you'll run into in the daylight, and dusk can be treacherously misleading with all that indirect light. The magic hour, eh? Magic hour, sure. The angle of the sun at dusk and dawn means the light is mostly indirect reflections from the sky. Everything looks like a movie. It's all a bit softer. Driver sleep in the day, then? Sure, those that sleep. Miguel pulled extra day shifts when he could. Sometimes he'd help me, you know. Sometimes over in bottling. He shouldn't have been out driving at dusk. Weird shadows, soft light, dangerous. Headlights look, pretty okay. That they do. Moving on. Oh sure, I know you'll want to look. Kick the tires. That's the thing we do, isn't it? As though our knees could exert the kind of force these tires see out there on the road, we're more likely to hurt ourselves. Isn't it the way? Eh? The tires look fine. Oh, I'm sure. It wasn't the tires that failed our dear Miguel. We are quite sure. What kind of man was Miguel? As I always say of him, he was good company. Many of us have found ourselves in his position, arrogantly grasping at personal sovereignty when our lives have become unmanageable. There's no shame in it, only condolence. Now, what else can we show you? Control the wipers with this knob here. Doolittle fiddles with the controls. They seem to have a decent torque to them, eh? Can't say how they'd fare in an ice storm, but we must never delay a shipment. Better to assume the risk. Folks watch the weather closely? I wouldn't know it if I saw it. Too many years of climate control. If I mentioned I rarely, if ever, leave our facility, I wouldn't know the rain if it drowned me. I'm sure the wipers are fine. Of course. What else, then? Last is the back. Looks like it's just about ready to go out. We have some good, strong folks in shipping here, so you never need to worry about loading if you don't want to. Bit hard on the knees and back at our age, eh? Of course you have to unload at the destination, but that's the job. And some drivers like the extra shift stacking and loading layer. Did Miguel load his own trucks? He did. It was a jealously guarded task for him. I didn't know the man better. Hear me now. I say if I didn't know the man better. I may have suspected he was skimming off the top. Sounds like a lot of work around here. It's in our interest, friend. After all, we must meet our final financial obligations. The truck's radio crackles back to life. Driver, come back. There's dispatch. Now tell them about your experience. Tell them the truck's in good shape. Tell them you'll start in the morning. I've been driving for a number of years. Decades, dispatch. 1033, dispatch. Got 2 black eyes and a flock of crocodiles. Come back. 10-4, back it down and prick your eyelids, driver. Come back, Lim. 10-4. Come back, wheel holder. 10-4. Got your ears on? Good. Listen to this. So, I think that went well. Let's head back up to logistics and seal the deal, eh? And I've got one more thing to show you. Let's head back upstairs, eh? I have one more thing to show you. Wait, we only came here looking for some answers about this stupid old moldy computer. Oh, the old man in the cave with the moldy computer. That black mold, it's drawn to whiskey. It feeds on ethanol fumes, you see. As we age the whiskey, some of it inevitably evaporates into the air. The angel's share. Goes through the vents here, and out into the caves. If we can scrape up that mold, we can usually apply some pressure and cold to it. Squeeze and condense the angel's share back into drinkable whiskey. Every drop counts when you're making a living on this stuff. So we'd go down and scrape it off his equipment, just like any other place it grows. He kept sending his people here to drive us away. Paranoid, truly paranoid. Well, now we have the formula, so we don't need to go collecting mold. But we didn't do anything to his moldy computer. He just forgot the password. One of his assistants shared it with me. Dome and air. That'll get you going. I'm sure of it. So, join me upstairs? It's getting darker. Okay, nothing to do here. Earl. This is Earl. He used to be a beekeeper. Borrowed some used casks to store the hives. But the interest accrued more quickly than the honey. Now he works for us here in logistics. These are various people who are in debt that they collected. If you don't mind. Here it is. A beauty, wouldn't you say? It's an antique, you know. What is it? Why, it's an adding machine. This is where we come for our daily ritual, to calculate the day's interest and repayment according to the formula. I usually do so at the beginning of my shift, so I know how many hours I need in order to keep up. Yes, I believe you'll do well here, sir. Happy to have you. Congratulations, you're hired. Wait, we can't. It's customary here to start each day with a shift drink. Let's make it special. Mark the occasion. This is the top shelf stuff now. Single barrel. He doesn't. Down the hatch. Vina Memore Mors. Decent enough. Welcome aboard. He's not working for you. We have to get back to this. He has a delivery to make. What's this? Not working. Are you turning down this opportunity? She's right. I have to make this, I'm disappointed. And I'm afraid that leaves us with a delicate problem. As I indicated, this is the top shelf stuff you're drinking now. It isn't cheap. If it's not your first shift drink, well, And there's the matter of this tour just now. My time and experience are billed at quite a premium. This is not good for you, my friend. You're in quite deep. Am I back of the envelope estimations? Well, we have that in common, I suppose. All of us. Yes, I'm afraid you'll have to work this off somehow. It's just the way of it. What's happening right now? You can start tomorrow. Take the time to settle your affairs. Of course, the interest begins to compound immediately, and... well, we'll go over the formula when you get here. I should get back to work. See you tomorrow, then. So we've been sort of, like, conned into debt. So, guess I start in the morning. I guess. I'm confused. It's just the way these things go, kid. Huh. Well, that still gives us a few hours to roam, right? Where's that ferry? Well, there are mammoth caves in Kentucky. End of Act 3. Alright. Here and there along the Echo. I believe this is an actual number. I miss old phones like this. I think this takes place in the late 90s. Because they do have the internet. Oops. Sorry. Let me start again. Okay, so. Wait.
The number you have dialed is not real.
I know that. Alright. This is so weird. 1, 5, 7.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0. For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. The Bureau of Secret Tourism is supported by a generous population of river creatures whom I fix up and grill as necessary. I am environmentally minded, and I believe all creatures are equally deserving of support in their transition to the next world. So I usually try to sing a little elegy like, small water creature, crab or frog, now you know that sleep is all around us, like a muggy, tranquil fog. Something like that. It's easier to come up with these songs when I'm hungry in a sort of transcendental fasting state, but I've actually just had breakfast. A debt of gratitude is also owed to the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces, who unselfishly and unknowingly donates this here telephone line for the purpose of this here informational resource. You can always find the latest secret tourism literature in any of our unmarked kiosks or any other old place it happens to lay. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, do me a favor. When you get a chance, call us back at extension 1928. You can press 0 now to go back to the main menu. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press. Well, if you're dialed into this here informational resource, then you're a certain kind of beachcombing, bat-calling sightseer. So let's take a driftwood inventory. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the Iron Pariah, press 4. For food and drink recommendations, press 5. Perhaps it's the violent displacement of natural gases. Perhaps the river tilts to face the moon, slowly changing the angle of its surface over time. Some sailors blame corked rocks. Whatever the geological explanation, the islands of the Echo River are mostly transient, rising and diving on some inscrutable schedule. The following islands are presently underwater. Island of 350 and 440 hertz. Island of interfering tones. Angled Island. Endless Island. This list is current as of now. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss these places now in vague and qualified descriptions. For the town with no roads to it, press 1. For the silo of late reflections, press 2. For the monument to something that we don't remember what it is. For the town with no roads to it, for the town with no roads to it, press 1. silo of late reflections, press 2. For the monument to something that we don't remember what it is, press 3. I suppose it must have been an important event if we felt we needed to commemorate it. The monument looks like it was a lot of work to put together. I wonder if it was a happy occasion, something we were celebrating and didn't want to let go of, or if instead it was something so horrible that we never wanted to forget it for fear that we'd accidentally do it again. There isn't a plaque or anything. I guess we didn't think we'd need one. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the Iron Pariah, press 4. For food and drink recommendations, press 5. To return to the main menu, press 6. To hear these options again. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide... So, you're probably not in any danger, but why are you holding that snake? If you're involved in an exchange of some kind, press 1. If holding the snake is part of your spiritual practice, press 2. If you don't remember why you're holding the snake, press 3. To return to the main... Okay. What's the last thing you remember? Please describe your memory in as much detail as you are able, paying particular attention to any smells and sounds you may recall. Were you breathing through your mouth or your nose? What did the air taste like? And so on. Feel free to call again with extension 1618 and tell us the whole story. All right. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work on this here snake situation. What you're going for is a kind of gestural conversation. Don't worry. I'll lead you two through it. Give that snake a name and look her right in the eyes and say her name. I'm going to go with Delia for the purpose of demonstration, but you pick a suitable name. Try to follow along with me here to the best of your ability. Delia, take it easy now. What if all of this is just a reflection of a... Now, hold the silence while she processes that metaphysical curveball. Okay, what's Delia up to now?
So I'm trying to see if I can
She's
hang out.
staring right back at you, press 1. If she's wriggling around, press 2. And if she's just kind of limp, press 3. Yikes! Okay, slowly. Lean in, like you're gonna kiss her. You really gotta make an impression here. I mean, it is crucial. Maintain eye contact to the best of your ability. When your face is just an inch from Delia's, let out a slow, gentle sigh. Let your breath warm up that frosty snake blood, you know. Gently. All right, where are we at? If the snake is breathing heavily, press 1. If she's curled around your forearm, press 2. If her tongue is extended, press 3. You just point your tongue right back at her. If hers moves left, yours moves right. and so on. Maintain eye contact so she knows you're not making fun of her. There you go. Delia should be in a kind of a calm, thoughtful state now, so you can move on. So, put that snake in some grass or something. Let Delia be free, like a snake should. And go ahead and wash your hands if you care to. I would. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, for a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. If you are hearing organ music, press 3. To return to the main menu, the wet, rocky contours of the Echo River make for sometimes baffling reverberations that turn mundane sounds into weird, rattling symphonies. Like that. It can be a challenge to pick through the clamor and recognize even something as simple as water dropping in a metal bucket, especially in the dark. Here are some examples. When you hear a sound you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop. That was a phone ringing underwater. That was dirt being thrown on the lid of a coffin. And that was a canoe tipping over from several miles away. That was someone burning a phone book. That was someone tearing up an electric bill. That was a phone ringing underwater. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying... Now I'll play you several recordings of Echo River birdsong. When you hear a song you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop. Ah, the lonesome teal. Ugly, spiteful little thing. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, lucky you. Does it sound like this? Otherwise, press 2. In that case, I don't know where it's coming from. It's
What?
nice though, isn't it? Let's listen to it again.
I don't know how to get this to stop at all. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. Cool. Ready to go? So sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, let's go. That is an actual phone number you can call. And you can, like, see what the extensions lead you to and whatnot. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Alright. Well, next will be Act 4. Un Pueblo de Nada. And then we'll get to the last act. Thank you again for watching. I hope you all take care of yourselves and have a good evening.